If we want to talk about the tricky fingerings that happen in Orange Blossom Special, most of the challenge of this tune is a left hand issue, and it's because we have to play double stops, specifically double stops that are thirds, which are definitely more difficult than sixths or some kinds of octaves. So I like to work this pattern out on the upper strings, first of all, where they're easy to reach, and then we can work our way down to where they actually occur in the tune. So if on the A string, if you play, get to a D sharp, and then keep that D sharp down on your A string. So that's a high third finger. And you're going to play D sharp and F sharp. So both of those fingers are down at the same time. What you have to be careful of is that your third finger is not touching the E string at all. So if your hand is coming in from behind or under, like with your thumb up on the G string, your third finger will be laying on the E string, and this will not work for you. So you have to make sure that your fingers are really making a nice tunnel so that your third finger is not touching the E string, and then that first finger on the E string, it'll sound like this. And you play them together. So just work on that a little bit. If your third finger is touching the E string, this is what you'll hear. That sound is because your third finger is rocking over and touching the E string. So the solution is to bring your elbow forward, and you'll see that changes the shape of your third finger. So that's the first very difficult double stop. It's worth just isolating this. So high third finger D sharp on the A string. Can find that double stop. The next double stop I'm going to show you in two different ways. So the way it actually happens in the tune is with a fourth finger and a second finger. This is tricky stuff. It's very difficult to get that shape right. If you're just completely not successful, you cannot get that fourth finger to be tall enough so that it doesn't touch the E string. Instead of playing a fourth finger note on the A, you can substitute your first finger on the A string. That works just fine. Okay, so what we're going to work on now is we're going to work on going between the third finger, first finger double stop and the next double stop. The first time I demonstrate it, I'll demonstrate it with a finger 1B on the bottom note. The second time I demonstrate it, I'll demonstrate it as it is in the tune, which is a fourth finger. Okay, so get that high third finger ready. We're going to play. Do it again. Now go to B and G sharp. Okay, let's do that exact same thing again. This time I'll show the second double stop with my fourth finger. So here's our high third finger D sharp. Ready? Go. Do it again. Now land your fourth finger. Okay, that is definitely going to require some work, especially if you haven't done a lot of double stops playing. The interval of a third is the most difficult double stop, not just to execute, but to get in tune. So you have to make sure that your fingers are round, right, so that they're not flat, and that elbow can come forward to help you clear the top string. Don't get too hung up on keeping your bow on two strings at once. It's, kind of think of it like if you're riding a bicycle, it's way easier to ride on two wheels than it is to go playing or go riding in a wheelie on one wheel. So just let your bow arm relax, and then it will naturally want to balance on two strings. So the bowing part of finding those two notes is probably not going to be as challenging as just finding those double stops. Now again, if playing your fourth finger on the second double stop is really frustrating and not happening for you, just play a first finger instead. Now once you've gotten around those patterns, we transfer them down. We do the exact same thing on the D and the A string. and gradually we work our way down to play them on the G string. But those are the shapes that happen in the double stops of Orange Blossom Special.